Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the West Ham Way YouTube channel with myself, Riley Finch, and only myself today. Can't see Mark anywhere. He's not here. I mean, what type of guy prioritizes his job, the thing that puts food on the table, feeds his family, pays all the bills? What sort of man prioritizes his job ahead of the West Ham Way YouTube channel? I mean, it's very poor behaviour from Mark, but he's been working hard recently. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just me today. What do you reckon the shirt, by the way? This is the old Adidas shirt. There were rumours that I think Nike or Adidas might be able to be our new kit sponsor. I'd really love that. This is one of my favourite shirts. So if you want to comment your favourite shirt in the description below. But we are here to talk about Liverpool. Liverpool versus West Ham. I think today's Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday at Anfield. Always a difficult place to go. Manchester City proved that. And we're coming off the back of a pretty uninspiring performance against Southampton. I mean, look, I think we were pretty rough with the decisions made by the referee yet again. I can't see how that wasn't. I mean, the foul throw was fine. I actually wasn't even upset about the foul throw to begin with, but the challenge, well, not the challenge, but the transition in play that led to Peru's goal. I mean, it's obstruction. I know by letter of the law, the ball has to have hit the referee for it to be obstruction. But come on now. He's got in Jarrod Bowen's way. Jarrod Bowen could not get to the ball. And you could see from Jarrod Bowen's reaction instantly that the referee had blocked him off. We also had another incident, which, to be honest, I didn't see during the game. A lot of people wasn't really covered in their coverage. Was the Soucek incident where he was wrestled to the ground, which I actually think could have been a penalty. But, you know, we're not here to make excuses. We're going to talk about the actual performance. I think Moyes got the team wrong. I mean, look, we haven't got that many defenders at the moment. I can see why he went 5 at the back. And it worked out all right with Emerson sort of being the more forward player. But Johnson looked very out of depth. I don't think Soufal had a very good game, especially offensively. Scamacca, I think, was really good. Rice again. Paqueta, I think one thing with Paqueta, he looks desperate to get that first goal, which is good because obviously that's what you want. But I think there's a lot of times in that game where he could have made a pass, that extra pass instead of shooting. He looks very desperate to get that goal. I think that was clouding his judgment a little bit. Yeah, I think Moyes got the team wrong. 5-2-3 sort of formation. Paqueta wasn't really played in his prominent position. Jarrod Bowen didn't have the most amazing game. And I think the defence looked very weak for the first time really this season. We looked very, very poor defensively. Even when we've had a poor game, we've looked okay at the back. But then that man, Said Benrahma, came on in the second half and he really, really changed the game. His play down the left-hand side really just tied the whole game in together. Look, brilliant strike from Declan Rice. I mean, he's got that in his locker and you know that. He doesn't pull it out too often, but, you know, what an absolute strike. And anyone who's going to sit there and say, oh, he's off in the summer, he's off in January, you know, he loves West Ham. You can tell he loves West Ham. And I think that fired up the game. And we did look more like we were going to score towards the end of the game. But we just weren't able to get that sort of finishing touch. I think Scamacca probably should have stayed on instead of Antonio. A shame that he didn't. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people look at that game negatively, and they will because we should be getting 3 points against Southampton. But all in all, I don't think we played too poorly. You know, we haven't had much luck with injuries, just like our opponents, Liverpool. And I think that didn't help during the game. But yeah, let's move on from that. It's a new week, you know, playing Liverpool off the back of I mean, it was a difficult game against City for them, and I feel like their performance has been a little bit overhyped by the media, as usual. But I mean, the Anfield crowd definitely was behind them, and it was a great touch and a great assist by Alisson for the goal. And to keep a clean sheet against City is an achievement in itself, whether City play well or don't. Yeah, both sides really bad injuries. Luis Diaz injured for Liverpool. Thiago Jota just got injured as well. Alexander-Arnold, he came on in the Man City game, but he's obviously not completely match fit at the moment, hence why he didn't start the game. And I think that's the extent of their big injuries. Obviously, Arthur's out as well, but that's not too bad for them. And obviously, with ourselves, Dawson, we're not too sure if he's back yet. Zuma, who I think was a big miss against Southampton, he might not be fit either. So it looks like we're going to go for another makeshift back four, which does worry me a lot, especially, with an Anfield atmosphere. I don't think it'd be as electric as was against City. I feel like City, they had a point to prove against City. They needed to win that game to put out a statement and say we're still here. We're still fighting. Whereas I don't think you'll get the same reaction when you're playing West Ham on a Wednesday night. I could be wrong. So I don't think they'll be as hard to beat as they were against City. But still, they've got a very good side, and obviously with the injuries that we've got. Obviously, Antonio's fully fit, more or less, which is very good for us. Attack-wise, I think, besides Cornet, pretty much we've got what we would need. And it's going to be an interesting game. I think we always play well against Liverpool. And I tell you, one man who always plays well against Liverpool is Pablo Fornals. He's got Liverpool's number. He absolutely loves playing against Liverpool. Be interesting to see if Moyes does go for a sort of back five system like he did against Tottenham, where Fornals comes in and drops into the back five out of possession, and then in possession you play Fornals on the left, because obviously we've got quite a lot to deal with when it comes to Liverpool. They're not the quick counter-attacking side that they used to be. They're not going to dominate possession. It's hard. I don't really know how we're going to shape up against Liverpool. I feel like if we sit in our own area, then we might end up causing problems for ourselves. But City played with a very high line against Liverpool, and to be honest, the game was there for Liverpool to win with that high line. Liverpool sort of dropped off quite a lot. They didn't want Haaland to run in behind, which is very smart. That's kind of the only way you can really deal with him. They didn't leave a lot of space in behind. They overloaded. I don't think they'll do that against us. I think they'll want to play their game. They'll want to be on the front foot, especially in a home crowd at Anfield, which does give us an opportunity to potentially play on the counter against them. And I think if you're going to play on the counter, you need to play 4-2-3-1. You need that person dropping in behind the striker, or you need Scamacca to drop in deep like he's done so many times. His passing is unbelievable. I mean, he's a special player. I can't believe that you've got someone with as good a strike of the ball as he has, but also he's got the playmaking ability, the intelligence to switch play, and the ability to slip the ball through at times is just incredible from him. So I think he'll be really, really crucial to us playing on the front foot. We need to play the ball long into Scamacca, into Paqueta, play on the counter. We say we've got a makeshift defence. Well, so have they, to be fair. I mean, if we're not running at James Milner, the guy's like, 42 years of age at this point? I mean, we're not running at James Milner. It's the perfect game for someone like, say, Ben Rama to play, because he's going to run him ragged. I mean, Walker-Peters had a good game against Southampton, but he had him on strings for the majority of it. So I think Said has to start for me, especially against someone like Milner. Even if Joe Gomez is playing there, I still think he should be playing, and especially if Trent's there. If Trent's there, then Ben Rama's, he needs to start. Back four is going to be an interesting one. I think I personally would go Ogbonna with Kehrer, and then stick Johnson right back, and then Creswell left back. I tell you what, Creswell's had a blinding season, by the way. I'm very happy to put criticism on him over the last couple of years, but he started the season really, really well. He's a big starter for me. Fab had a massive game against Southampton as well. He pretty much kept us in the game at times. Areola, of course, I think is a better keeper, but Fabianski really kept us in the game, so I think he keeps his place in the team. Kehra's obviously going to start, but if Ogbonna's fit, I think he's got to start, especially if they're going to play Darwin Núñez. I mean, Johnson's going to get absolutely bullied by Darwin Núñez. I know we all joke about him. Everyone's sort of saying, he's not that good because comparisons to Haller and all that sort of stuff. But the guy is strong, and the guy knows how to finish. If you're Klopp, who may or may not be on the touchline, by the way, strange one that. If you're Klopp, you're going to stick Darwin Núñez up top and say, you stick to Ben Johnson, you'll win every single header in the air against him. I think you need Kehrer and Ogbonna in that defence. And if Ogbonna's fit, which I believe he is, I think he's got to start. Soufal, for me, not good enough going forward. I don't think Johnson's good enough going forward either, but I just think maybe Johnson was in the first team at that right back spot and played so well defensively. And one thing we will need on that right-hand side is going to be a good defence, coming up against the likes of potentially Salah, I'm not sure who they're going to play left wing. I think maybe Roberto Firmino will start, but then maybe Harvey Elliott on the left or something. I'm not entirely sure what this Liverpool team is going to be like. They've played a couple of different systems over the past few weeks. Obviously, they're not in the best of form. Declan Rice has to start for me, and I'd love Flynn Downs to start. I would love it. You know, he's had a week off. He's not had the excuse of, oh, well, he played on Thursday, so he can't now play on Sunday. This is Wednesday now. He hasn't played for a week. I think he has to start for me. It'd be lovely if he did. I just think his ball retention and, you know, Liverpool's midfield is not good. We can win this game literally in midfield. And I think also you need someone on Thiago just to make sure that we're not going to be getting any blinding through balls met. I think you bring Flynn Downs into it, he's going to control the game, possession, you know, interceptions. It's going to allow Declan Rice to go forward more, like we spoke about in previous videos. I'd love him to start, but I think Souček will start. Look, man, I'm still not the biggest fan of Souček. He's played every minute in the Premier League so far. I don't know how Downs hasn't even got a minute. Not even beginning of his Prem debut, I'm pretty sure. But look, it is what it is with Souček. I'm not going to get on the back of players. I prefer Downs, but if he starts, he starts. And then pretty much your front four, your attacking players just write themselves into the team sheet, didn't they? Paqueta in behind, Bowen on the right. He has a good game against Liverpool most of the time. Benrahma on the left for me, and Skamaka up top. Now, defensively, that's not the best team. I think, you know, I think it's going to be high. It could potentially be a high-scoring game. I don't know what Liverpool side is going to come out. Is the problem. I have no idea what West Ham side is going to come out. David Moyes normally sets up pretty negatively against big sides, and it's almost paid off this season with the likes of Spurs and Chelsea. I think you can't do that though. You can't go to Liverpool and set up defensively because the Anfield atmosphere, they're just relentless. They're gonna pick us off at some point. So I do think we need to set up on the front foot, or at least try and be on the front foot, contain a little bit of possession. Prediction. Obviously, I always get hounded for my realistic predictions. It could be a high-scoring one. You know, I think Liverpool aren't in great form, but just beating City, I think they probably will turn up against us. And obviously, I'm really not confident in our defence. So I think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. I think it could be more than that. I do think we will lose. I think we will get the first goal and we'll surprise Liverpool. But I do think they just do have the better of us at the moment. And as much as I do think we can get a result easily against this Liverpool side, yeah, I do think we are going to lose that one, unfortunately. Obviously, no idea what Mark's predictions are because he is not here. But yeah, that's my predictions. So if you want to leave your predictions down below, Liverpool Wednesday, it's going to be a tough game. I'd love to know your thoughts. And till next time, thanks for watching.